So Algebra 1, Test 7, Study Guide. We got through 3.1 where we add and subtracting to solve equations. Number 1 says identify the fraction that is equivalent to 2 over 9. So if we just check it against it, we can see when you change 2 to 8, you got to multiply by 4. So you just check to see if you multiply 9 times the same number 4, that gives you 36. So A works. Let's check the rest of them just to make sure. When you change 2 to 6, for this one, you got to multiply by 3. 9 times the same 3 is not 36. 2 times, it would be 5 to get to 10, this one here. So times 5. This one times 5 is not 36, it'd be 45. And then to get to this one here, 8, you'd have to multiply by 4. This one times 4 would be 36. That one's not it either. So A is the only one that works. 8 over 36 by multiplying both the top and the bottom number by 4. Write the fraction in its simplest form. Okay, you might not know that 6 is the biggest number that goes into this. But you can look at it and say, well, you know, it's even. 9 times 2, since it's even times 2, gives you 18. And 2 times 15 gives you 30. Then look at it again and say, well, the number 3 goes into both of these. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 5 is 7. Now, there's only 2 factors of 3, 1 and 3, and neither one of those goes into 5. Therefore, it's in simplest form. Writing 1.1 to squared in standard form would be 1.1 times 1.1. 1.1 times 1.1. So if you stack them the way you could see them, where you could work them a little bit easier, just do this. It's like 11 times 11, which is 121. But let's see how we get to that. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. You got a placeholder here. 1 times 1 is 1. Then 1 times 1 is 1 again. So 1, 2, and 1. And there's 2 decimal spots. 1, 2. So it's actually 1.21. Number 4 says 5 over 6 minus 2 over 6. Same numbers at the bottom. Great. That makes it so much easier. 5 minus 2 is 3, straight across. The number 3 goes into both of these. Into that one once, into this one twice. 1 over 6 times 9 over 10. Again, we can multiply straight across. 1 times 9 and get 9. 6 times 10 and get 60. Or we could say, well, the number 3 goes into both of these. Into this one 3 times. Into this one, 2 times. Into this one 2 times, and into this one 3 times. Straight across. Now 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 10 is 20. 3 over 20. There's no number that goes into both of those. Six, greatest common factor. What are your factors of 10? 1 times 10, 2 times 5, and that's it. Which one of these numbers is the biggest number that goes into 52? 10 doesn't, because we know that 10 times 5 is 50. 5 doesn't go into it because 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 11 is 55. 2 is the next biggest one. 52 is an even number, so we know 2 goes into it. Therefore, the greatest common factor of 10 and 52 is 2. Find the least common multiple of these. Now, these are a little tougher. Least common multiples are when they count by, especially when they're big numbers like this. 35. The next number it counts by when you add another 35 to it is 70. The next number it counts by is 105. The next number it counts by keeps going like that. 140. Then 175. And on and on and on. You're going to do the same thing with 21. You're going to get 21. Then you're going to get 42. Then you're going to get 63. Then you're going to get 84. Then you're going to get 105 for the next one. There it is. That's the first number that comes up that they have in common. 105 is their least common multiple. Number 8, name the property shown. Here's one property problem all by itself. No other properties are around it for you to compare. It's addition. Check it from the left side to the right side. How does it look? On the left side, it says 2 plus 9. On the right side, it says 9 plus 2. Everything stays the same except the numbers move or the numbers commute. They move positions. Therefore, this is the commutative property of addition. Is the given number a solution of the equation? The one that comes after the semicolon. Is that a solution? So in place of Q, we're going to sub it in. 18 plus 6 now equals 23. 18 plus 6 gives us the number 24 equals 23. That is not a true statement right there. Therefore, it is not a solution. Remember, true statements are solutions, so this is no solution here, or not a solution. Okay, and then we got to solving equations with addition and subtraction. H plus 8 is equal to 11. Our goal is to get it to say H equals all by itself. We don't have that. We have H plus 8. Undo plus 8 by subtracting it. Whatever you do to one side, you do the exact same thing to the other side. 11 minus 8 is 3. H is 3. N minus 5 is 10. Same thing. We want N equals all by itself. We don't have that. We have N on when you look just at its side, it says minus 5. You undo that by plus 5. That's what the inverse operation is. That's the way you cancel it out. Get rid of that. Do the same thing on the other side. 10 plus 5 is 15. Number 12, t minus 6 equals negative 5. Same thing. We want t by itself. Undo minus 6 by adding 6. If you do it to the left, do the exact same thing to the right. Negative 5 plus 6, opposite sign, subtract them. 6 minus 5 is 1, and 6 is the bigger absolute value. Therefore, it's going to keep that positive sign. Y plus a negative 5 is equal to negative 10. Remember, plus a negative is the same thing as y minus 5 equals negative 10. We want to get y all by itself. So undo minus 5 by adding 5. If you do it to the left, do the exact same thing to the right. Again, opposite signs, negative 10 and positive 5. Subtract them. 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 is the larger absolute value, and it is negative. So that's where the sign is going to come from. Y is negative 5. H minus 23 minus 21 equals negative 56. Before we try to move anything across, we have to look and make sure each side is simplified. Simplified means no grouping symbols and all like terms are combined. Right here we have negative 23 and negative 21, which we can combine with each other. Same sign, so add them up. 23 and 21 is 44, and keep the common negative. Now it says H minus 44 equals negative 56. Now we have something we want to get H equals all by itself. Again, looking just at that side, you don't have H. You got minus 44, so do the inverse of minus, which is plus. We want to keep the H, so add 44. Whatever you do to the left, do the same thing to the right. Again, we have opposite signs, negative 56, positive 44. So subtract them. 6 minus 4 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 56 is the higher absolute value. It is negative. Therefore, it's going to be negative 12. Says simplify the expressions. Negative 6.8 minus a negative 6.1 plus 3.3. Remember, anytime you have minus a negative, you can make it say plus a positive. So negative 6.8 plus 6.1 plus 3.3. Opposite signs for these first two. So subtract them. 6.8 minus 6.1 is 0.7. This one is the higher absolute value, and it's negative. So to be negative 0.7 plus the rest of it, 3.3. Again, opposite signs, subtract them. 3.3 minus 0.7. 13 minus 7 is 6. And you have 2 left over, so it's 2.6. 3.3 is the higher absolute value. It's positive. Therefore, 2.6 is positive. The absolute value of negative 13 minus 10. You do negative 13 minus 10 first. Same sign. Add them up. 10 plus 13 is 23. Keep that common negative. Now it says the absolute value of negative 23, which means how far away is it from 0? Distance is never a negative number, 23. Negative 3.7 times negative 4.4. A negative times a negative equals a positive right away. We know that. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry your 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Leave us a little placeholder. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry your 1 again. 3 times 4 is 12 again, plus another one, which is 13. When we put all this together, we have 8, we have 6, we have 4, and we have 1. This tells us to move the decimal once. This tells us to move it twice. Once, twice. Once, twice is 14.68. Again, check to make sure a negative times a negative is a positive 14.68. 18. Now, this is a confusing one for some people. It says negative 5 to the third power. Negative 5 is not being raised to the third power. 5 is being raised to the third power. So this looks just like this. Negative 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 more is 125. And then this little guy comes down in front of it to make it negative 125. 2/3 times negative 3m plus 30. Distribute 2/3 to both of them. 2/3 times negative 3. It looks like this. 2 over 3 times negative 3 over 1. This cancels this out. So it's like 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. Negative 2m. And 2/3 times 30. 30 is 10 plus 10 plus 10. That's your 3 parts of 30. So 10 plus 10 would be plus 20. If that doesn't work for you, do it like this. 2/3 times 30, again, over 1. This cancels itself out. It goes into itself once. This goes into it 10 times. And 2 times 10 is the same 20 that we have right here. Negative 56 divided by negative 8. Just like a negative times a negative was a positive, a negative divided by a negative is also a positive. 56 divided by 8 is a positive 7. 20z minus 29z, those are like terms. Combine them. Opposite signs though, positive 20, negative 29. So subtract them. 29 minus 20 is 9z. And 29 is the higher absolute value. It's negative, therefore it's negative 9z. Name these two properties. 10 times 1 over 10 is equal to 1. 10 times 1 over 10 is equal to 1. This is the inverse property. The inverse property. Multiplying something by the reciprocal is the same thing as dividing. That's how you undo that. 6 plus 7 plus 1 is equal to 6 plus 7 plus 1. The order stays exactly the same. None of the numbers move or commute. The parentheses move, however. And when parentheses move, that is the associative property of addition. Associative property. Number 24 is a bad question. Eliminate 24. I don't even know how you would write 11 using an exponent. I guess you could write it as 11 to the first power, but that's kind of dumb. If you wrote that, I guess that's good. I'm taking that one off the test for tomorrow, so don't worry about it. Well, 11 squared, for those of y'all, and I've seen a couple people put that, 11 squared is actually 121. That's not the number 11. So you just created your own exponent to try to make the problem make sense. That's why I said it's a bad problem. 1/3 divided by 7 over 6. That's division in case it looks like addition to you. 1/3 stays the same. Division becomes multiplication, and you multiply by the reciprocal. Fancy word means flip it. 6 over 7. We can cross cancel. 3 goes into itself once, into 6 twice. Straight across. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. 26 says 4 times 701 using the distributive property. 4 times 700 minus 1. 4 times 700 is 2800. 4 times -1 is -4. 2,800 minus 4 is 2,796.